years, 1,111 days to be exact. That's how long I've owned my 2022 Hyundai Elantra N. I'm going to fill you in on my 3 years of ownership experience. So I'll go over the maintenance costs, the fuel economy, and just my overall impressions of the car, how it served me both as my daily driver, as well as like my back roads fun car, even the occasional quarter-mile drag strip car. Now, there's no hiding it. I'm not planning on getting rid of this car anytime soon, even after hitting the 3-year mark. But I'm going to talk about some of the things I like about it and why that is, why I'm not getting rid of it anytime soon. And I'm going to start off with the looks of it. Now, I understand that looks are subjective, so some people like this and some people don't. But the first most obvious thing I think you're going to notice about this car is these triangular creases in the door. It gives it a lot of character. It's different than anything else you're really going to see on the road. Hyundai really, did something different here. Now, a lot of people don't like this. I personally really like it. I think it sets it apart from other sedans. I just think it looks cool. Another thing you're going to notice is, of course, the red accents. You have the red on the rockers there, as well as on the bottom of the front lip. And if we move around to the back, you're going to see even a red strip here at the back. Now, this is another thing. Some people love it, some people hate it. I personally really like it, but I won't lie, there's been times that I've thought about maybe, having that wrapped, changing color, maybe to like a gloss black or something a little more subdued. But because I went with a more subdued color, the cyber gray, I kind of like how it gives it a little bit of a splash of color. Obviously, it signifies a sportiness to it. So every time I think I'm going to maybe have it wrapped, I kind of go back and say, you know what, it kind of defines what the car is. I mean, it's instantly recognizable as an Elantra N, I think. Now, the most polarizing aspect of this car is probably the front fascia here. Now, this is a 2022, so for 2022 and 2023, you had this pretty much fully blacked out front fascia and grille, and then you had the headlights that kind of extend up into the hood line. Now for 2024 and on, they revised this front end, kind of squished it down a little bit, made it a little bit less aggressive in my opinion, and a little more European looking, I would say, is probably the best description. But to me, this one kind of has like a wasp face is always what I've kind of seen in it. And at first, yeah, it's pretty polarizing. It's strange. It's different, but I have gotten used to it, and I think it really kind of sets the car apart. And I actually really like it. I still will look back at this car after I park it in a parking lot, and I enjoy seeing it sitting in my garage. I never think I wish I had a different car that was cooler looking. Really do enjoy this car very much and enjoy the looks of it. All right, now that we've talked about the exterior looks, let's go into the inside so I can show you the interior and what I like so much about it and what I don't like. So let's hop in. So let's start off with these seats. They're pretty amazing. These are the N Sport seats. Everyone really kind of knows about these with the Elantra N. It took me a little bit of time to get used to them. Just these bolsters are pretty tall, and just having my leg rubbing against them, the first couple months, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it, but I've adjusted to them. 3 years later, I actually find these seats very comfortable, and more comfortable than a lot of other cars that I sit in. So, but they do have high bolsters, so that's something that you're going to have to get used to. Material wise and looks wise, I really love this interior. You do have the Alcantara on the door cards and the seats. Obviously, I got this armrest and the shift boot from the Korean spec Vanti N, which makes it, kind of just spruces up the interior a little bit. You can even get an e-brake handle that matches that. But here, let me start the car, because one of the favorite things of this car for me is the gauges. So they have the digital gauges in the full screen here. And I know this is more popular nowadays, but in 2022, not a lot of cars had this full the full digital screen going on. So I really love it. I love the gauges. I love the way they look, and you can change, the way this is the gauge choice I made, but there's, other gauges you can do. I love when you hit the N button, and it's just it feels a lot more upscale than what the car is. The steering wheel is great, fantastic, nice thickness, good material. I haven't really scratched it or anything. Stereo, you got the tweeters here, the Bose stereo. Um, Once you get the equalizer set up, it's really good. Initially, I was like kind of like not sure about it, but it's been great. Actually, I haven't felt like the need to have to upgrade the speakers or anything like that. Interior room's amazing. My kids, who are almost adult size, fit back there. Don't complain. There's not a lot of amenities. There's no fold down armrest. There's no vents back there. This is a 2022. 2022 and 23 do not have USB ports back there. The 24 and up do. So that's something to consider if you're thinking about this car as a family car. But we use it for family trips. I've driven this car on many long trips, 8+ hours. The seats, my butt doesn't go numb. I don't have any issues with it. The only complaint about the interior is some of the material choices. It's hard, scratchy plastic. It gets scratched pretty easily. You can see here those scratches from my son and his instrument case and his backpack with zippers. I do use it as a daily driver, so he sits over there, scratches it, but thankfully it's low and kind of a dark color, so it doesn't bother me that much. But if you're a stickler, that might bother you, that it does scratch pretty easily down there. But overall, I really love this car. This grab handle is a little bit of another like contention with people. It's kind of flimsy. It crackles a little bit and rattles when you grab on it, but it doesn't rattle normally. The car does have some rattles. The screen will rattle when it gets really hot outside and it's been sitting in the sun, because this is like soft touch and this is hard. It'll rattle against it. Doesn't do it very often, but it does do it every once in a while, but it goes away. This back door will rattle sometimes depending on the temperature. It's really weird. It's like very dependent on the temperature and humidity outside. Strange, but I don't know. In the wintertime, this car doesn't rattle at all. It's so weird. But overall, I absolutely love this interior. I really do. And I don't feel like it's outdated looking, and it's got just really makes you feel like it's a much more upscale than it is. It has heated seats, and yeah, it's just great. No complaints other than the rattles and the material, but it's an economy car. It's what it's based off of, so I'm not going to complain about that. Let's go under the hood, and I'll tell you about the maintenance. I've done exactly 10 oil changes on this car, and I do it every 4,000 miles. I follow the severe schedule from Hyundai on this, and I pay about $25 for 5 quarts of Mobil 1 0W30 advanced fuel economy from Walmart. It meets all the specs for Hyundai. I use OEM oil filters. I buy them in bulk. So it averages out to about 12 bucks per filter. So for $37, I do a full oil change on this car. Now, dealer experience. One of my first videos was my first dealer experience with this car. It wasn't great. Dealers vary, so you might be fine with your Hyundai dealership, but a lot of them aren't great. So I choose to do my own maintenance. You might choose to bring yours in, but if you do decide to do it on your own, it's very economical. I've had to buy some coolant because this will go down every about 10,000 miles. I'll top it off. Spark plugs every 42,000 miles. Just did them a couple hundred miles ago. Those were about $65 shipped from Amazon, just OEM NGK. Easy change. And that's it. That's all the maintenance I've done on this car. It's been completely reliable. It's never left me stranded, started every time, and has been very economical. Now, tires, I have Continental DWS06 on my aftermarket wheels here. These have 34,000 miles on them, guys. So they are due. I'm getting low on them. So the stock Michelin PS4Ss are going to be much more expensive and not get as good wear as these. So that's something to keep in mind when you buy an Elantra N. That's been it. That's been all of the maintenance. Like I said, it's been amazing as far as that goes. All right, guys, last thing I'm going to touch on with this car is the fuel economy. So it's rated 20 city, 30 highway for the DCT. And I averaged 27.7 miles per gallon with this car. So almost, rounded up to 28. But this car on the highway is incredible. I've gotten over 36 miles per gallon on the tank, and around town, I think the worst tank I've ever gotten is 23 miles per gallon. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. So for the performance you get out of this car, the gas mileage is really, really great. Brakes still have plenty of meat on them too, maintenance wise. I didn't mention that before. I have zero regrets about buying this car. It's honestly my favorite car I've ever had, and I've had a lot of cars. There you go, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions whatsoever, just, hit me up. Always enjoy making these and look forward to hearing some of the comments. Till the next video. Peace out.